I've developed an inferiority complex when it comes to my wildlife photography. After watching Jared Polin go on safari in Kenya, my squirrels just aren't cutting it.
Holy f***ing shitballs.
I've been filming and photographing squirrels around my neighborhood because that's normally what I encounter. I've always thought they were adorable, but I've recently been watching wildlife photographers on YouTube in hopes of getting some tips on how to advance my career. And the one thing I've noticed is that most of these wildlife photographers are photographing much more exotic animals and birds than I am. I've noticed that many of them live in Australia and have access to kangaroos and wombats.
This is great. It's a male and a female, and she looks like she's not only got pouch young, but she could be going back into estrus because he's been doing a lot of cloacal sniffing, a lot of displaying.
What about patience though, guys? You know, you can have the light, you can have perfect conditions, but it doesn't always mean you're going to get the shot. You know.
And if they don't live in Australia, they live in Africa where they have access to lions and cheetahs.
There's animals literally everywhere one looks. We've had a phenomenal big bull elephant. It's quite incredible how they come down this crater. We've had beautiful lions with cubs in the morning light. And we've even had 2 rhinos, but you can see they're really quite far away.
And so many of the American wildlife photographers on YouTube end up going on safari to Africa.
I'm here in the Masai Mara in Kenya on safari, and I've got 2 Micro Four Thirds flagship cameras with me.
Jared Polin Frono's photo.com and join me through Kenya on a safari.
At the end of the year, I'm going to be going on a safari and taking some of you.
I double-checked my budget, and it doesn't look like a trip to Australia or Kenya is going to happen anytime soon. But I decided it would be a good idea to leave my neighborhood and travel to a nature park in hopes of filming and photographing something more exotic than just squirrels.
We're here at Kensington Metro Park, and I'm trying to get some photographs of exotic birds. But so far, all I've run into is a raccoon and a chipmunk. Possibly a woodpecker.
And as usual, I encountered a squirrel. I did see a sandhill crane, which is something I don't see every day. I must admit I was feeling a bit constrained by my lack of access to more interesting species of animals and birds. But then a conversation I had with Shane from the Geeky Nerdy Techie channel changed everything. He lives in Australia surrounded by exotic wildlife, but when he came to Michigan, he told me he couldn't get enough of the squirrels. And I thought to myself, squirrels are great, but don't they have them everywhere? That's when I discovered not every place around the world actually has squirrels. The wildlife that I'm surrounded by that seems so typical is actually exotic to many people who don't live around here. I decided to go through my squirrel footage that I hadn't bothered to share with anybody, and I was seeing it with a whole new perspective. just as I started to realize that maybe some people around the world might actually enjoy seeing my squirrel footage, it dawned on me that not everyone gets to see red-winged blackbirds either. And maybe, just maybe, Canadian geese are considered exotic to some people. I know they're called Canada geese, but I was raised to call them Canadian geese. And every single person I know in my area calls them Canadian geese also. And then I found some footage of a plain old ordinary robin. But I was surprised to learn that the robins in the UK don't look anything like the robins here in the US.
Yeah, this is true. British guy living in America, and I can tell you that the robins in the UK are far cuter than this hunk of Americana. Look at this. When people see this, when people from the UK see this and understand that is an American robin, they're going to be like, of course, everything's bigger in America, everything's more jacked up, everything's more extreme, including nature. Compare this to the British robin, the UK robin. Little balls of adorable, look, like bright scarlet, and they are that round. That's not the robin puffing about. That is how they look. They're tiny little balls hopping around. Look at that. I was surprised to learn that these were robins. I actually was seeing these for like years and years living in America and not understanding that they are robins.
Discovering that the ordinary wildlife around me isn't so ordinary to other people around the world has really motivated me to get out there and document it and share it with as many people as I can. I was feeling a little depressed that I couldn't afford a safari to Kenya or a trip to Australia to see the kangaroos and wombats. But the beauty of YouTube is that I can experience all kinds of wildlife from around the world, and I can also share my local wildlife.
If you like this video, give it a like. Consider subscribing for more photography-related content from a newbie like me. God bless.